everyone, it's Lainey. Welcome back to another card video. Today I'm going to be using Concord & Knight's Cottage Garden stencil pack. This is 3 stencils and I will show you the back. That is all 3 stencils together. And I'm going to do something different. I'm actually only going to use 1 stencil today, but you will definitely see this stencil pack again in a future video with me using all 3. But if you've been following me for the past few weeks, you know that I have been really trying to stretch my supplies and inspire you with multiple cards using 1 die set, or for this case, a stencil set. All right, so going to take out the stencil, and this is, I think that's the one. Let me take out all 3 real quick just to be sure. Yes, so this is the stencil I'm going to be using. And I'm going to bring in an oversized piece of cardstock. And I like to use an oversized just to help keep my glass mat a little more clean. So I'm going to go ahead and use my mint tape here from scrapbook.com and tape my paper down. And let me just adjust that. So taping down both my cardstock and my stencil. And I'm also masking off some of the areas. Let's start with this flower over here. So I'm going to go ahead and mask off this little part, and then we'll reposition it, making sure that the stencil is secure so there's no sliding. Here I have 4 colors pulled: Creamsicle, Grasshopper, Sherbet, and Watermelon. I also have a few other colors pulled to the side because I think my Creamsicle is already kind of drying out. So I'm not sure how well this one's going to pick up. So if I need to change the color, I will. So going to, well, maybe not. Maybe this is the one that's still saturated. Coming in with a really inexpensive blending brush that I've been using for a while. I've mentioned it a few times. Found them from Amazon. This is my 2nd set. I will link them down below for you. They're pretty nice. But just going to try my best, because this is quite dried up. I'm going to try my best to really kind of ink blend this flower. I purchased the smaller ones, the smaller inks, for storage purposes, but my goodness, I have not used this one very much, and it dried out super fast. And that's happened to my other one, powder. I had to order a refill, and some of them come in super saturated and some of them aren't. I don't know if they're like sitting on a shelf and drying out, or they're refilled, you know, per order. I doubt that, as busy as they are, but some of them just don't have as much use as some of the other colors. Not quite sure what's going on, but it's unfortunate because this is a new one. Okay, so let's put the Creamsicle away. Let's bring in Watermelon. Oh, and you know what? I am mistaken. I'm actually using 2 stencils today, not 3. But I think you'll still like how the card turns out. Have a little napkin here, kind of tapping off some of that excess so it doesn't come in too vibrant. And repositioning my tape. And I'm going to work on the middle flower here. Ooh, let me go ahead and mask off this flower as well because it's so close. Okay. Since the Creamsicle is so light and I can't really build up the color because my pad is kind of dry, I'm going to keep the Watermelon on the lighter side so everything is cohesive. Now I'm going to bring in the Sherbet and grab, that's coming in quite vibrant as well. Let me tap off some of that excess there. I'm kind of wondering if I should put some Sherbet on top of the Creamsicle and just bring in another color for that flower. I'm just going to come in with the sherbet on top of the creamsicle very, very light and see if I can build this up. This was not the original direction I was going in, but, you know, we'll just play around and see. All right, I'm really liking the mixture of the creamsicle and just a little bit of the sherbet. That really made it a little more vibrant, and I like how that turned out. So since that's more vibrant, I'm going to come back in with a little bit of watermelon and enhance this just a bit more as well. My apologies, I didn't realize my camera had stopped recording. But for the third color, I brought in Buttercup and really focusing on the center of the flower, making sure it is more saturated there for vibrancy, and then kind of fanning it out for lighter colors on the petals. And I'm really glad that I brought in Buttercup. I think these three colors are really working nice together. Okay, so the ink blending is done. For the flowers part anyways, we will bring in one other stencil to add the petals. And that's definitely optional. You could just use this stencil for the card, but I really want to bring in Grasshopper because I love that green. See how pretty those flowers are? Like, that is just really nice by itself. But we're going to add just a little more detail here. So bringing in the second stencil. And now you can see that if you could color in the center of the flowers, you can add some stems. But all I'm going to do is add some leaves. So, Grasshopper. Really building that color up on the brush. And going to come in more heavy-handed right at the base of the leaf. Let's move on to the other one. And if you have smaller brushes, you could definitely use those instead. I have some, I haven't used them yet. They're still brand new in the package. So heavier right at the base. Let me mask off this little area there. And build it up. Kind of added a little too much on that one, but that's okay. And so with the remaining ink on the brush, I'm going to come in with a really light hand and just get the rest of the leaf. But I want it to be vibrant and then fade out, similar to the flower petals. Okay, let's remove the stencil, and I absolutely love these colors. Okay, very carefully removing the tape from the cardstock. I'm just going to line the tape over on the side of my glass mat because this can be used again. So now I'm going to cut this down. Just cutting off the excess. And then I can keep this extra piece here for just a scrap piece. Okay, so I don't know if this is going to work, but I'm going to do something kind of random and cut this apart. So just hope for the best. And I'm going to line it up corner to corner and cut this directly in half. Ooh, I'm scared. Okay, so it's in half, and let me bring it out a little bit and cut another sliver off. Okay, so we've got the strip. We're kind of going to put this together like a puzzle. And I think, let me get this lined up here and I'll cut down the corner. Let me see what this looks like so far. Piece it together kind of like this. And then I can glue it to the cardstock and then cut this down and then build this on the card base. I'm going to kind of position this off of the panel a little bit because I want the spaces, the gaps, just a little bit of white space. Okay, so this is the look. I'm going to glue the largest piece down for, well, should I do that? I think I'm going to do the strip actually. Yeah, I'm going to do the strip because the strip really needs to be aligned diagonally. So I'm going to take my liquid glue here. Get it straight. Move those pieces aside. Okay, this is adhered. It's not moving. So now let's take this larger piece and glue this down as well. Being very attentive of the gap, the white space in between each cut, because I want those to be even. I feel like I want a little more, but I don't think I'm going to be able to shift it. So once again, these two big pieces here are kind of a little more complex. What am I doing? Okay, making sure it's turned the correct way, and I'm really focusing on the gap in between, but also making sure that the flower is lined up. Trying to, goodness sakes. So didn't do a very good job at the aligning. It just dries so fast. Not the best alignment job, but you get the picture. It's homemade, right? Once again, I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer. So I'm going to trim this down and then allot for a little margin, and then we'll attach it to our card base. So 5.5. I'm just going to, let's see here, let's turn this around, because we have a little bit of cardstock hanging off. So just trying to be mindful. And all right, so this is measuring at 4 1/4, and what I want to do is take off 1/8 of an inch on both sides. Just turn it around and cut down another 1/8 of an inch. So now it is measuring from at 4 and a little over 5 1/4. Let's make that exactly 5 1/4. Okay, very nice. Now here is my card base, which is an A2 size as well. And this is in a landscape orientation. I'm going to go ahead and grab my magnets so the card base can be fixed. And then let's bring in our panel. And I think I want to turn them this way. I think I want to build this up. I've really been doing that a lot lately. So let me grab some thicker foam tape and we'll build this up, and then we will work on a sentiment and some embellishments. Okay, so bringing in a new card base, unfortunately, I applied that panel so crooked and I had to take it off, but that is okay. It is not ruined. I'm just going to add a little glue because there's some paper stuck to that adhesive. I want to make sure that it really gets stuck down to the card base. Okay, I'm going to bring this closer to me. And sorry if my head's in the way. Just want to make sure I don't mess this up. Oh, much, much better. All right, let's get that pressed down. And what we have so far, just a little visual interest with the cuts, and the color palette is so summer. I think it looks so nice thus far. So now I have some new sentiments from Concord and Ninth with the die and the shadow layer. And this got bent in the mail, but it says, love you so, just a note in here for you. I'm really thinking the here for you because it is a larger die, and that would look really nice horizontal since this isn't a landscape orientation. So let me go ahead and take that off. And also I need to pull some cardstock as well. I'm going to use one of Concord and Ninth's new colors for this year and grab a new pair of scissors as well and trim this down. And also just going to go ahead and cut off the bent portion of the first card base because that is ruined, and I'll use this other side for the die as well. So we're going to have the text in white and the shadow layer in Grasshopper. And I have my, let me move these over. I have my mini die cutting machine, and I think, oh yeah, that's gonna fit nicely. Okay, lining that up, and let's cut out the shadow layer. Actually, that shifted. I probably should tape it down. Okay, let's try this again. Let's cut the shadow layer. And that did not cut very well at all. There's like no pressure. I could feel it. Let me try to salvage this. Oh no, it shifted. What a bummer. Okay, so I cut another piece of Grasshopper, but, oh, and my plate is warped. Let's turn it over. And we'll try the white because this is not expensive like the Concord and Ninth is. And I got plenty of white. So I'm gonna actually use some of the masking tape from the ink blending and tape that down in case I need to run it through twice. All right, I think I know the problem. So I had my plate upside down and it is warped. So turning that the right way, and then I had the cutting plate E and I should have had B. This is quite a bit thicker. So that is why that happened. There's nothing wrong with this little machine. It was 100% user error, and this is definitely a tighter feel. Much, much better. Okay, so we have that cut out, and let's do this again. What I want to do is align the die and tape it down and then cut off the excess and keep this for my backstock or scraps, whatever. whatever you want to call it. Okay. Thank goodness I figured that out. Because this little machine is not old. I got this as a Christmas gift. Alrighty, so unlocking the suction, and I'm gonna move this stuff out of the way. Now I'm gonna bring in my liquid glue and apply it on each letter. So one more time, bringing in the card, and it looks like there's a little stain on the card right there. I wonder if I can cover it up with some embellishments. I am thinking about putting the sentiment here a little more to the left so I can cover up that little stain that I accidentally got on the card. And then we have quite a bit of white space up there, but I think adding an embellishment or two will really bring this together and look fine. And I wanted to make sure that the sentiment wasn't overlapping this green leaf, because I really wanted these two elements to be separate from another, just so it's not so much green and, you know, visually confusing for the eye. I want you to be able to make out the flower and the leaves and the sentiment. Okay, so that is what we've got so far. And now I'm going to pull some gold embellishments, my little go-to jewels, and I think we're going to be done. All right, for the last step, the fun part, I have the gold, and then I have these other, I don't even know what it's called. It doesn't say, but I really like these two, but I'm kind of running out. So I'm going to go ahead and use the gold. And I think the gold really pairs well with this green. Unfortunately, where we're at right now in Wyoming, the nearest Hobby Lobby is 2 hours away. So I'm just going to wait until we leave here and go to a different spot, and then I'll stock up on the things that I need from Hobby Lobby. I really don't like ordering online from there. I don't really like ordering online from anywhere but Amazon because I have Prime. But let me see here. I was trying to see how I wanted to position these embellishments because we have those slits in the card. And I'm thinking, let's see here. Let's take another large one and, well, really sticking. Put a large one here. Play with some more. I think it needs a little more texture with these embellishments. If I can pick them up, goodness gracious. Yeah, I like that. So we got a trio there. I think that is the finished card. What do you think? The color palette, the sentiment, the dimension, the texture, it's different. But like I said, I'll have another card using all 3 stencils probably coming out next week. So definitely subscribe so you don't miss out on another card video using this cottage, what is it called? Cottage Garden stencil from Concord and 9th. All right, everyone, if you liked the video, if it was inspiring to you, definitely give it a thumbs up. It helps my channel, and I would love it if you subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.